Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We are going to talk about XRP. And look at this, Ripple released roughly 50 videos today on their YouTube channel at the same time that XRP was moving up in price, reaching almost 60 cents. I wonder why they released all those videos today. Just in, Ripple, asset tokenization today and tomorrow. Now look at what they plan to do with tokenization. Tokenized mortgages, consumer loans, and microloans have all helped make private credit and debit the second fastest growing sector, while property purchases and treasury notes also stand to benefit. Additional tokenization use cases include enhanced capital flows for small and medium-sized enterprises, improved efficiencies in carbon credit trading, and better price discovery compared to traditional assets. You know, once tokenization really starts to get going, we're going to see new companies emerge. We're going to see people build empires around tokenization. That's how big this is actually going to become. Trillions upon trillions of dollars. And a lot of that value is going to end up on the XRP ledger. I think the history books will look at this SEC administration as being Luddites. Take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says here. He talks about how Ripple became a global company because of the SEC.
I'm glad you asked this question. You know, when the United States government sues you, it's a scary time. Yep. And, you know, we're a U.S. company based largely in San Francisco at the time. And I was very nervous about what the future of Ripple would hold and, you know, what the growth prospects. And I will tell you, one of the things, you know, also maybe we didn't talk about publicly at the time, but we had really high turnover of employees that first few months, because I think a lot of employees were like, whoa,
freaked out.
I'm out. It ended up being that the 2 years after we got sued were record years for Ripple because we just went outside the United States. The products we're selling, the solutions we're enabling are very global. And if you look at our business now, 95% of our customers are non-US. From a payment volume, it's largely non-US. And that's sad. You know, actually, even you kind of alluded to this, we made a strategic and conscious decision that, you know, about 75% of our hiring over the last 2 years has been non-US. Yeah. You know, why do you want to hire people here when your market is not here? It's you want to be closer to your customer. You've heard a lot about customer centricity in the panels and discussions over the last day and a half or day. And look, you know, that's sad to me that we're offering high-paying jobs and, you know, we're doing a lot less hiring in the United States. We've still grown in the U.S., but again, you know, 75% of your hiring is non-U.S. That's a sad reality. So what you do when that happens, when you don't have clarity, is you go to where there is clarity. Right. And you have markets like Japan, you have markets like the Middle East, UAE, Dubai, Singapore. You know, I highlighted the European Union earlier, certainly the UK. These are not random small countries and markets. And the U.S. has just been way behind on this. And I do think the United States Securities and Exchange Commission could be a leader in solving this. And instead, they're going to. I think the history books will look at this SEC administration as being Luddites. Yeah.
So that shows you how big Ripple has become because of the SEC versus Ripple case. And Brad's 100% right, because I pointed out all those facts all throughout 2022 and 2023. Look at Ripple growing in this country, growing in that country. And even the EU, even in Europe, Europe's massive. So is the UK. They're massive markets, and the U.S. is getting left behind. And, you know, other countries, smaller countries, are going to emerge out of this because they're utilizing that RippleNet technology and utilizing XRP for cross-border payments. And they keep growing nonstop as well. Visa Direct expands with Temenos. Neum Ripple Payments below settles through Visa Direct. So Visa Direct facilitates real-time cross-border and domestic payments, reaching billions of endpoints in over 190 markets and 160 countries. And you see it right here with Neum. Look at all the countries Neum is in already. And they're always expanding and growing. And sometimes it's not Ripple directly, it's partners of Ripple, forming another massive network, payment rail network, all around the world. Wirex and Visa have partnered to launch Wirex Pay, aiming to bring seamless crypto payments to millions of merchants worldwide, enhancing accessibility and convenience. And once the merchants start accepting crypto as payment, that will lead to mass adoption. It'll take us there very quick. When you could walk into a store and buy something with crypto, that's game changing. That's leading us down the path of mass adoption. And I point that out all the time. And we see Ripple powered crypto company Wirex has received its first financial transmission license in the United States. That was back in 2020 in the state of Georgia. That's how long Wirex and Ripple have been working together. It goes back even before 2020. A lot of this stuff was getting built out when we were first getting into crypto, some of us. And you still had to have that vision to see where XRP was going, see where Ripple was going, how soon we were going to get to the point we're at today. And a lot of this stuff was building in the background without any announcements back then as well. FTX and CFTC agree to $12.7 billion settlement following months of negotiations. So it looks like all that money is going to end up back in the hands of the people that lost money with the fall of FTX. And a lot of people are saying a lot of this money is going to end up back in crypto. But I'm not quite sure of that. Look at inflation right now. A lot of people lost all their savings due to inflation. I think some of this money is going to stay outside of crypto. But if I had to put a number on it, I would say most likely 75% ends up back in crypto. Because a lot of these people most likely went on and still invested in crypto, even after the fall of FTX. Computer, internet, blockchain. The next trillion-dollar companies will emerge within the blockchain sector, much like IBM with computers or Google with the internet. Everything evolves. And I always point that out because, technology, it moves so fast today compared to years ago. Look at how even TV evolved. First you had cable, then you had satellite, now you have streaming. Even TVs themselves evolved. Before you had standard definition, then you went to high definition, and then on to 4K. Same thing is happening here. We're going to see a handful of companies emerge out of this next massive revolution. And it's only going to be certain utility-driven cryptocurrencies. I think a lot of cryptocurrencies are going to disappear, and what's left is really going to be the next trillion-dollar company. I think Ripple's going to be one of them. Most likely Stellar, Hedera, Quant, and the list goes on and on, but there's only a handful. It's not like a massive amount of companies are going to be left, and it's going to be a very exciting time when that happens. So now we see billionaire Michael Dell called Bitcoin fascinating. Larry Fink's all over the mainstream media news shilling Bitcoin. But I think it's just to get new retail investors' money into crypto, into Bitcoin, because the real adults in the room are talking like this right here. Take a listen.
Stable coins, backed by fiat currencies, by the way, I think would be invaluable. On the other hand, having been a big proponent of Bitcoin, and as I said, I tried to launch the first Bitcoin ETF in the world, we would have been 2 days. I was 2 days away from that publicity. I have actually completely lost faith in Bitcoin. I think cryptocurrencies are now just a method of speculation. I don't think, and I'm not seeing any huge productive capacity emerging out of Bitcoin. It is, I mean, and never mind the scams that are happening. I actually think those are very valuable because I think a big issue about this space is education. And having, these headlines about FTX, brilliant. Everyone is reading just because it's, kind of exciting and interesting, but through that reading, they're learning, and they're learning about the risks. I think that is.
What she's saying there is this, is that you have scams in crypto, which means you need regulations. You also need education inside of crypto also. FTX collapsing out had to happen at that specific time for a reason. But I see more and more people just giving up on Bitcoin. And I think it's because they now see that something bigger is out there. Utility is out there now. Tokenization is out there now. And they know that moving money around the world is a very big deal. And you have to be able to move it very fast and very cheap, which Bitcoin does neither. And that's why they're losing faith in it. But then to follow those headlines, you get headlines like this. Tether co-founder William Quigley. Tether has no peg and does not maintain a peg to the US dollar, which most of us already knew that. And the fall of Tether is going to be the beginning of the fall for Bitcoin. And it's going to happen very fast when it happens. Most people won't even see it coming. Most people out there are so strapped to Michael Saylor's words that they repeat them daily. Did you ever talk to somebody that you know that invest in Bitcoin? Right away, they give you all the Michael Saylor talking points. So this brings me to the point that I was talking about in that previous video. I do believe that XRP will eventually flip Bitcoin. It can even happen in this next run-up. A lot of people are saying we're following 2017. And XRP has flipped Bitcoin in the past. So will it happen again? I think it will. And I honestly think that even the people that are shilling Bitcoin right now, like Larry Fink and some others all over the mainstream media news, I think they feel the same way as that lady does about Bitcoin. They don't see any value in it, but they see how it could put money in their pocket right now through those ETFs. Do you honestly think that's why Larry Fink is entering this space? No. He wants to make sure he is part of the new financial system. I'm sharing these images because they look amazing, while it is the same one posted on X earlier. Seeing it on the US debt clock with that background really brings it to life. And they're talking about this right here. May God bless America. But I want to point something else out. Look at how close we are to $35 trillion in debt. And most people right now are fighting off inflation while the debt continues to rise at the same time. We are eventually going to see hyperinflation. Something is going to break. Nobody knows what it is yet, but when it happens, it's going to domino, and it's going to take down this whole entire current financial system. Most likely commercial real estate, residential real estate, the stock market. It's going to be a very chaotic time. But what's going to emerge out of that is a new financial system. They already got the solution to the coming problem. And it's like a controlled crash that we're going to watch play out over time. The good thing is, I don't think it's going to happen before the next election. Right now, they are going to do whatever it takes to make sure no crisis arises before the next election. And that's why I think Bitcoin's going to have one last major run-up in it. And it's going to be very exciting. And I always tell people I know that are invested in Bitcoin, get out and get into utility as quick as you can once you make some money out of Bitcoin. Because I don't think it's going to reach beyond 100K. And most people would agree with that. But you have people like Michael Saylor saying, $10 million Bitcoin is coming. All you have to do is wait for it to happen. It's kind of like waiting for the $10,000 XRP. The difference is, I believe XRP has a better chance of reaching 10K than Bitcoin does reaching 10 million, because things are shifting. And I've been pointing it out over a long period of time now. You could see it happening in real time. You got to look at the way the BIS, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, and even the central banks of the world and even countries are now talking about real-time payments and crypto. And now with Ripple's new stablecoin coming as well, we have nothing but exciting times ahead for XRP holders. And we're also going to experience alt season, and that's coming as well. But you know, until it all happens, you gotta stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in my next one. Have a great night.